is taken from her story time part one. Now, I think this whole shit was a setup just based off how it started from the beginning to the end. So she's not really my blood cousin. She's my cousin-in-law. So she got with a male cousin. Basically, he moved to her city. They ran into each other because he used to do yard work for her grandma. And then it became a love story from there. He brought her to our city, and this is where shit goes down. At his house, he wasn't taking her there, which was confusing to me. He ends up bringing her to my grandma's house, and she's sleeping on my grandma's sofa. So come to find out, he was also sleeping with the woman upstairs that stayed upstairs from my grandma. He just moved into town. She was the newest neighbor, and she had the same name that his baby mama did. So we're gonna call my cousin Bree. So Bree has a child already with her, and then she's pregnant at the time that she's still with my grandma. So the child that was already with her was not my cousin's baby, but he claimed the baby, and it was unsure if the one that she was pregnant with was his baby, but he still claimed that one as well, and she ended up having 2 more kids after that. Kids was over his mom's house. Somebody called in from DFAS and told them that his mom didn't have no lights and no water or clean food. At her house, when they did inspection, she had like little food, so she had been giving them like little things to munch on. Like she would give them a can of Aina and some noodles or sausage and some macaroni, like little stuff like that. She wasn't really a big cook. Like she was just, I mean, she fed them, but still. And they would be in soggy diapers all day. They didn't have any type of like clean clothes most of the time. I remember one time I visited her, and her oldest child was in the tub, and she was just like, yeah, I'm keeping him in there until his dad comes. Been gone for hours. Even when she was staying with my grandma, he would go act like he was going to McDonald's to get them food, and he would come back with like 2 cheeseburgers for her and the kids. And she was a plus size woman, so like that wasn't even enough for her. End up giving them to her friend, the same one who stayed upstairs from my grandma. Now this is why I say I feel like the setup comes into play. So remember I told y'all that she came there with the child, and she was pregnant with the child. The one that she was pregnant with ended up being the godchild of the woman upstairs. So the woman upstairs was just like, hey, you know, Bree number 2 was like, I want to be the godchild of, you know, your second baby. So the second baby used to be up her house a lot. She had gotten a new boyfriend, so her and my cousin were no longer together, and her new boyfriend posted a video of her sucking his thing. He went live on Facebook and recorded her sucking his thing, and it was alcohol and drugs in the back, and the baby was on the bed asleep, where one of the babies were, and no one knew what the other kids was at that time in the video. And when she went to court, she was able to find out who was calling DFAS, because the person had been calling in anonymously. Also, she was expecting Bree number 2 to come because it was around tax season, so she was expecting some money. She told Bree number 2 she gave her permission to go to the landlord and let her in her mailbox they had to sign papers for her to go cash her check, for her to put it on her books, because she was not getting bailed out. She was going to have to do time, as well as her kids was going to be taken from her. Now, this court date was going to determine if they were going to be taken permanently or just for a little while. Once they get to court, the friend was the one who was testifying. The friend was saying that she was letting her new boyfriend, touch on the kids. The kids was coming to her with diaper rashes, wasn't being changed, wasn't being fed. They would eat their food really fast, like they were starving. Now, I don't know what person was really doing behind closed doors, so I don't want to put that image on her. But I do know she was lacking finances, and it showed. The rest, I don't know about. But you slept with her man, you befriended her, and you took her kids. Once Bree number 1 went to jail, Bree number 2 called it off with my cousin and kept the kids. So she got full custody. He can't even see the kids either. Now, the 3 kids that Bree number 2 did have used to be over Bree number 1 house all the time, and they were older. They were like 12, 15, 17, so they were up in age. And they used to say that they did not like living with their mom, basically saying that their mom was not fit to raise no kids. Their mom had men in and out of the house. So I was just like, the accuser was the doer. They were doing the same thing. in a type of way. She still have all the kids except for one. The oldest kid actually got adopted by someone else, because in the process of when they were taken temporarily, he was placed with someone else, and all of the girls went with her, with Bree number 2. So he's still with his adopted parents. But the police did show up to Bree number 1's house. So Bree number 1 got out of jail, went back to her apartment. They showed up to her apartment, saw that it was not in living conditions. It looked like a witch. It was spider webs everywhere. It was a mess. It was trash everywhere. Nothing was clean. You could tell she had been living like that way before she got arrested, like a long time. Anyways, they showed up there to let her know that she had a chance to get her first child back. So the one that she already came with, the adopted mom was about to pass away, so the child was going to have to be moved. So they was like, we can reach back out to the birth mom and see how she's doing now, even after all that criminal history, because she had other things going on as well. They still wanted to give her back the child. She was not reachable, and the child is now placed with someone else, but the girls are still together.